Hello and welcome to the CurioClips channel. Imagine if the Earth's temperature was 5 degrees higher than it is today. Humans would probably be more like hairy gorillas living in trees, spending their days eating fruit and their nights sleeping with their mates in the safety of the forest canopy. Instead, we wear coats and scarves in the winter and sleep in cozy beds made of linen and down comforters. And although some humans still live in trees, most of us live in houses, many of which are made out of wood from trees. So what changed? What made us build fires to keep us warm instead of growing thick fur coats? Why do we live in houses instead of in trees? And why don't we spend our time gathering berries instead of working at offices? It might seem like there's no connection between modern humans and the Stone Age, but everything changed during the last ice age, which ended about 11,700 years ago. From making clothes out of animal skins to developing agriculture, the Ice Age had an enormous impact on how we became human. The last ice age began about 110,000 years ago, right around the time Homo sapiens emerged. It lasted until about 12,000 years ago. This means that humans spent almost their entire history so far during this period when the planet was covered in ice sheets and most of the land was frozen tundra. When we talk about the Ice Age, it's important to remember that there wasn't just one giant ice cube that covered the Earth. During the peak of the last ice age, the northern hemisphere was about 5 degrees Celsius colder than it is today. The majority of the world was dry and cold, but there were still plenty of forests and open grasslands. In fact, some parts of Europe were more hospitable during the Ice Age than they are now. But while these regions weren't uninhabitable, they were certainly less hospitable than they are today. But did this affect our evolution? According to National Geographic, humans actually thrived during the Ice Age. This was partly because we were already well adapted to the cold. We had evolved in Africa where we developed adaptations such as an ability to sweat and create tools to hunt. As we migrated north, we took these abilities with us. And by the time the Ice Age began, we had learned how to make clothing out of animal skins and shelter out of wood. This allowed us to move into new habitats, including the frozen north. For example, humans migrated into Alaska at the beginning of the Ice Age, about 110,000 years ago. Between then and the end of the Ice Age, the population grew from a few thousand to over 50,000 people. But why were humans able to thrive when the rest of the world was freezing? The answer is probably because of our big brains. Compared to other animals, we have huge brains. This makes us stand out from other species just as much as our opposable thumbs or the fact that we walk upright on 2 legs. But what do big brains have to do with surviving an Ice Age? A lot. First of all, big brains require lots of calories. This means that whoever was carrying them needed to eat more food than other members of their species. Scientists think that before Homo sapiens developed agriculture, they lived in small groups, meaning there was never enough food for everyone to get big brains. But starting about 13,000 years ago, humans started living in bigger groups. This meant there was more competition for resources, but also more cooperation. And it turns out that humans with big brains required more social connections to survive. This meant that humans had to start working together in larger groups to gather enough food for everyone. Big brains also mean big imaginations. Humans could invent new technologies and strategies to accomplish tasks that would have been impossible without complex thought. For example, we invented spears for hunting and created new tools for harvesting crops. Finally, having a large brain allowed humans to adapt to different climates. Because we could develop new technologies as needed, humans didn't have to wait for natural selection to produce the perfect adaptation for every situation. This allowed us to survive in many different environments, including the frozen north. As the Ice Age worsened, many animal species went extinct. Humans learned to hunt new animals and grow new crops. For example, humans hunted reindeer instead of bison and grew hazelnut trees instead of grapevines. Some scientists even claim that the Ice Age played a role in our development of language. Because humans had to work together to survive, we had to find new ways to communicate our ideas and thoughts. So while the Ice Age was full of challenges, it also offered opportunities. Humans used their big brains to adapt to the changing world, which allowed us to not only survive but thrive. So how did the Ice Age shape human civilization? Most importantly, it caused the domestication of plants and animals. As the climate changed, humans had to find new sources of food. They started hunting wild animals and gathering berries and nuts. But eventually, humans realized that they could grow their own food instead of waiting for it to grow in nature. This discovery led to the development of agriculture, which led to the development of civilization. In fact, the timing of the Ice Age may have been a critical factor in the development of civilization. If the Ice Age had hit earlier, humans wouldn't have been around long enough to develop the technologies necessary to survive it. If it had hit later, humans may not have felt the pressure to innovate and develop agriculture. According to Smithsonian Magazine, archaeologists have found evidence of early farming communities in Turkey that date back to 9,500 years ago. This was after the Ice Age had ended and the climate was warming. However, scientists believe that these communities likely developed independently in other parts of the world around the same time. This suggests that there was something about the post-Ice Age world that encouraged humans to take up farming. Perhaps it was the availability of new plant and animal species that had migrated into the region, or the remnants of the Ice Age left behind new landscapes that were better suited to agriculture. Whatever the reason, humans quickly realized that they could grow more food than they could eat. This led to the concept of saving seeds for next year's planting, and eventually to the domestication of plants and animals. Many scientists agree that the invention of agriculture is the most important event in human history. It allowed humans to stay in one place and grow food instead of moving around to follow the herds. This allowed humans to build permanent settlements and eventually cities. Farming also led to technological innovation. Humans needed to build new tools and technologies to plant and harvest crops. These innovations then leaked into other areas of human life. For example, the plow, which was originally invented to break up soil for planting, was later used to clear land for building and other purposes. According to Smithsonian Magazine, many scientists believe that the development of agriculture was one of the main factors that allowed humans to go from a few thousand people to billions in just a few thousand years. So what would you change about the Ice Age? Let me know in the comments below. Another thing we got from the Ice Age was art. Cave paintings from the Ice Age depict animals that scientists believe were extinct. This suggests that humans were drawn to art as a way to remember animals that they had never seen before. Art also gave humans a way to cope with the stress of living during the Ice Age. Cave paintings and petroglyphs have been found all over the world, suggesting that art was an important part of human culture during this time. Art may have also helped humans spread their culture. When humans migrated, they brought their art with them. This allowed them to share their culture with other humans and learn about their cultures in return. Overall, the Ice Age had a profound impact on human history. It forced humans to innovate and develop new technologies, and it also gave humans a chance to create works of art that we can still admire today. The Ice Age was a time of great challenges, but it was also a time of great opportunity. It was during the Ice Age that humans developed the skills and technologies that allowed us to survive and thrive. It was during the Ice Age that humans developed the ability to farm, which led to the development of civilization. And it was during the Ice Age that humans developed the ability to create art, which has helped us to preserve our culture through the ages. The Ice Age was a time of great challenges, but it was also a time of great opportunity. It was during the Ice Age that humans developed the ability to farm, which led to the development of civilization. And it was during the Ice Age that humans developed the ability to create art, which has helped us to preserve our culture through the ages. Hey, thanks for watching. See you next time.